This video is sponsored by the Sexy Brutale.
When did Reaper first put on the mask? From the looks of things, it could be a lot earlier than you expect. For a long time, we have assumed that Gabriel Reyes became Reaper after the explosion which destroyed the Swiss Overwatch headquarters and reportedly killed him and Jack Morrison. Jack came back as Soldier 76 and Gabriel returned as Reaper. At least that's what we thought, but there is one small problem with this theory. The explosion at the Swiss headquarters happened about 6 years ago, but Reaper's official bio states that he has fought in many armed conflicts in the last decades. So does this mean Gabriel Reyes was donning a skull mask and black trench coat while he was still a member of Overwatch? Was he going around like the Punisher, bringing with him his own brand of justice at the end of his shotguns? It's a pretty intriguing idea, and while I would like to think he was acting as some kind of vigilante, from what we know it's more likely he was acting with purely selfish motivation. This is backed up in the bio, which says he shows no loyalty to any cause or organisation, and fought in many conflicts. It also directly describes him as a mercenary. I think this is the most likely motivation. Reyes would use Overwatch and Blackwatch to gather information and see where he could offer his services, perhaps even using trusted Blackwatch members to assist him. Another part of the bio says that survivors describe a black shadow ghosting unscathed through the most hellish battlefields. The few bodies recovered from those he kills are pale, empty husks drained of life, their cells showing signs of intense degradation. This describes some of Reaper's abilities and his soul drain mechanic, but most interestingly, it doesn't mention this being a recent development. We had assumed the powers came from whatever procedure saved Gabriel Reyes' life, but what about if he was able to do this long before the explosion? In that case, how did he get the powers in the first place? Well, I've got a theory. Gabriel Reyes was part of the Enhanced Soldier program in the United States. Along with Jack Morrison, they were both inducted into the program, and their strength, agility and speed were all improved. Many years after they went through the program, Jack Morrison was appointed Overwatch's leader, but up until this point, Reyes had always been the senior officer. Could being pushed aside have triggered a need in Gabriel to enhance himself further, to prove he was the more powerful man? What about if he underwent treatment that enhanced himself further, giving him some of those powers that Reaper has today? What about if one of those powers was Reaper's healing factor, but after the explosion in Switzerland he was too grievously wounded to heal properly and he came back wrong? Another theory is that maybe Gabriel Reyes wasn't the first Reaper. Could there have been a mercenary using the name in disguise long before Gabriel? Perhaps Gabriel killed the previous Reaper and took the title for himself, pretending the original Reaper is still alive to fool his fellow Overwatch agents and throw them off the scent. Or maybe it's something that's passed down, a skill set that's gifted to an individual who desires the power the most. Perhaps Reyes made a deal with the devil, so to say, and he was granted these powers while the last Reaper was stripped of his. More so than any other character, Reaper's abilities seem the most mysterious. Other skills are explained, like Symmetra using hard light technology or Mercy utilising nanobots, but Reaper, how he pulls his shotguns from nowhere, the way he consumes the souls of the dead and teleports are still fairly unknown. The only real explanation is found in his bio. It is possible that he is the byproduct of a failed genetic alteration that forces his cells to simultaneously decay and regenerate at a hyper-accelerated rate. So this could explain some of his powers, but not how he pulls shotguns from nowhere. The final interesting connection is with Talon. Talon is a terrorist organisation that has existed for quite a while. They were operating while Overwatch was still running and continue to execute attacks today. We've known for a long time that Reaper has a close connection to the group, and from what we saw in the McCree comic, it seems some Talon agents could be ex-Blackwatch members. So could Reyes have set up Talon while he was working at Overwatch? Could Jack Morrison and the other Overwatch agents have actually been hunting for Reaper while he was right under their nose? It seems Morrison and the other members are aware of who Reaper is today, which means at some point his identity must have come out. Could that have been the spark that triggered the fight that levelled the Overwatch headquarters? So what do you think? Was Reaper operating as a double agent, or did he steal the name Reaper from another individual? Do you have any theories of your own? Let me know in the comments below. As always, this is James Ficas saying thank you for watching and enjoy the game.
Brought to you by the Sexy Brutale, a never-ending masked ball featuring intrigue, murder, and quite possibly the occult.